Angel Reese, in particular, her energy shifted. I thought when she got some of those easy baskets to go in the paint, that quite frankly she had struggled with to open the ball game.
That energy is contagious because if you look at Angel Reese,
let's go back to Angel really quickly, though, because she was part of the catalyst that you saw to be able to change things around. And she said to Holly, I just feel like I needed to take a deep breath and maybe stop overthinking some of these.
Oh, I've been there. I've been there. Like, sometimes the basket is too open.
Right.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that. Y'all said it's the player of the year, so I want all the smoke. All the smoke. So
who's the best player in the country?
To the media or me? I feel like I'm the best player in the country.
But this weekend has to be one of the worst weekends ever for Angel Reese, bro. I mean, she became a meme last game. She became a super duper meme this game. And all I got to tell you is, Caitlin Clark truly gets the last laugh, man. Make sure you got.
She had it. She had the entire game sitting right there in her hands, resting on her fingertips for maybe half a second before it slipped away. Tied at 81, clock bleeding down to nothing, and Angel Reese gets a wide-open layup to send Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever home with a loss. And she missed it. Clean miss. No contest, no help defender flying in from the weak side, no last-second hand in her face changing the trajectory, just Angel Reese missing the most crucial shot of the game.
Atlanta get one final chance, 81-81, to take this game, resulting in this circus act of a play. Ryan Howard disrupted by Sophie Cunningham, pretty much to Angel Reese right under the basket, who blows it. Naz Hillman gets the rebound, again, blows it. So the game goes into overtime. And I gotta say, Angel Reese looked really upset blowing that layup, but I think what's going really viral right now and making the rounds on social media is Caitlin Clark's reaction. She walks right behind Angel with a cheeky smile.
That single sequence is the reason we're even having this conversation right now. Because what happened in the 10 seconds after that, miss has somehow become bigger than the miss itself, bigger than the final score, bigger than the actual basketball game that two professional teams played for 40-plus minutes. And now, according to the rumor mill that has completely taken over WNBA social media this week, Angel Reese isn't just upset about missing that shot. She's reportedly furious enough that she's exploring legal action, not against the referees who officiated the game, not against the league office, but against Caitlin Clark personally, for allegedly laughing at her behind her back.
Angel Reese was terrible. Speaking of terrible, Angel Reese never beating the allegations. This was to open the game.
With Reese leaking out, finds her.
Lee Sheet. That was awful. Wow, that was awful. One more good time. Yeah. Yikes. Holy moly. Holy moly. Caitlin Clark. Let's go. Down the court. Yeah, let me just pass this ball into AB. Oh, that was nice. That was nice from Caitlin Clark. How about Caitlin Clark cooking Angel Reese?
Clark working behind ball.
Boom. She shot it from the...
Reese got that open look under the basket with a chance to end it right there, no overtime necessary, and she missed a shot she has made thousands of times in practice and in games. The broadcast, doing exactly what broadcasts are paid to do in moments like that, cut straight to her face. She's crushed. Head down, shoulders slumped, the entire body language of someone who knows precisely what she just cost her team with the game on the line.
And the only person to blame is Angel Reese for missing the layup to win the game. Angel Reese missed the layup that would have won the game, and she didn't win the game. As a result, cost her team the game because she can't make a layup. And Caitlin Clark seemed to enjoy it. I have no idea what she was actually smiling about, but this was the play in question, in case anybody was wondering and hadn't seen it. Angel, point blank range, doesn't make the shot. It's not like Caitlin chases her around to taunt her or anything like that. With good timing to know where the cameras were if that was indeed on purpose.
and then the camera catches Caitlin Clark walking past her, a few feet away, heading back toward her own bench, smiling. The kind of smile you'd expect from someone who's relieved the game isn't over yet, and she still has a shot to close it out herself. That's it. That's the entire so-called incident. A camera caught two facial expressions 3 feet apart on a basketball court, and the internet did the rest of the work turning it into a headline.
And we can't make simple layups. We have no post moves. Our handle is weak. We can't shoot from the mid, can't shoot from the three-point line. All Angel Reese could do is rebound her own shots and her teammates' shots occasionally and play defense. She's by no means an elite defender. By no means is Angel Reese an elite defender. But this is bad. This is really bad. There's been absolutely zero progression in Angel Reese's game. Angel Reese rookie season to now, it's the same player. She hasn't improved finishing around the rim. She hasn't improved the mid-range shot. She hasn't improved the three-point shot. Her handle hasn't improved. She's just the same rebounding, defending, clumsy offensive player that we've seen for the last going on 3 years now.
The game didn't even end there either. It went to overtime, and the Fever pulled it out, 95-91, in a period that could have gone either way until the final minute. Clark finished with 26 points and 9 assists, controlling the extra period the way superstars are supposed to. Reese actually had a solid statistical night on paper. 15 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, a near triple-double that under different circumstances would have been the headline of the night. But none of that mattered once the overtime buzzer sounded, because Indiana simply had more in the tank when it counted, and Clark had the biggest shots down the stretch.
Almost. Try again. Nope. Try again. One more time.
Great board, just could not convert it. Was pushed under the hoop just enough to not have a great angle. To OT we go.
Atlanta continues to own the offensive glass here in the fourth quarter.
Within hours, that incident had been remixed, slowed down, zoomed in, captioned, turned into a sound effect, and posted across every single platform that exists. People are calling it their favorite meme of the year. Fans who have been rooting for Clark since the moment she stepped onto a WNBA court treated the moment like a trophy, replaying it on loop. Meanwhile, fans who backed Reese treated the situation like a public insult that demanded a response. And somewhere in the middle of that chaos, a much bigger and much stranger story started to grow legs. The claim that Angel Reese wasn't just embarrassed by the moment. She was allegedly threatening to make the whole thing a legal matter.
Sure, you were tuned in to our favorite reality TV show last night. And by now, you've seen the video of Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese after she missed the game-winning layup against the Fever last night. I'm sure you've also seen this clip of Angel Reese missing a wide-open layup in the first quarter. But what I'm sure you missed was the halftime commentary about Angel Reese's performance in the first half last night. I don't know who her team is paying to get them to gaslight us like this. Get a load of this.
That energy is contagious because if you look at Angel Reese, she already has 7 and 9. She's already getting close to a double-double. Go back.
Are we being so for real? 7 and 9, almost has a double-double in the first half. She was 3 of 10 from the floor. She missed 7 out of 10 layups. Half of those 9 rebounds were from her own missed shots that she then missed again. Well, yeah, she brought the energy, baby. She brought the energy.
She's used to getting double teamed. She's used to triple teams, and she's used to contact. There's no one better to learn from when it comes to being a beast on the boards than Angel Reese.
Yeah, because when the game's...
There's no better person to learn from to be a beast on the boards. You don't say. The woman who literally has a stat created called knee bounds because she misses so many shots she takes. No shit, she gets rebounds.
Here's where things get genuinely bizarre. Reports circulating out of Reese's camp, unverified, loosely sourced, spreading mostly through gossip accounts and screenshots that nobody has actually managed to trace back to a real legal filing, suggest that Reese is exploring some kind of legal action against Clark and possibly even the league itself over the laughing moment. The claim, as it keeps being repeated and reshared online, is that Clark had a say in orchestrating the moment somehow, and that laughing at a missed shot on a globally televised broadcast crosses a line serious enough that it should carry actual consequences.
She is the worst offensive player.
She's not very offensive
She's
competent,
so
bro.
bad. Caitlin Clark laughing at Angel Reese's missed layup.
Generational meme.
To lose again. Here it is. Here's the video.
She
can rebound everything, but bro.
Andre Drummond as hell down there, cuz.
Now I heard you say, and I know you like her, Betty. You were like, she averages 15 and 12. I'm like, bro, you watch these games. You're like, how does she ever score?
Come on, bro.
It's an elite rebounder.
So bad.
Elite rebounder, bro.
And you need those. You need those to win.
You need those players on your team, bro. She's super famous rebounder, bro.
Oh, yeah, how bad did she want to hit the game winner against Caitlin Clark's
Right.
team? You know,
Oh, yeah.
That was devastating. I would say, my opinion is that Angel Reese averaging 15 and 12 is an indictment on the league.
Oh, my God.
A line for laughing on a basketball court during a live basketball game that both of them were actively competing in front of paying fans and a national audience. Think for a second about what would genuinely need to be true for a lawsuit like this to have any real legal footing. You'd need to prove intentional harm, demonstrate actual damages, and point to some kind of legal duty that was violated. Smiling at a rival missing a shot isn't defamation. It isn't harassment under any recognized legal standard. It isn't a tort of any kind that exists in a courtroom. Every lawyer who has weighed in publicly on this rumor, and a handful have, mostly half-jokingly, on social media, has landed on the same conclusion. There is no case here. Not a weak case that needs the right judge or the right jury. No case at all. Athletes have trash-talked, celebrated over, and laughed at each other since competitive sports were invented, and none of that has ever produced an actual courtroom filing that went anywhere.
And Angel Reese knows a ring is coming.
And this is the part that makes the whole rumor almost impossible to take seriously with a straight face. Because Angel Reese is not new to using gestures, body language, and facial expressions as a competitive weapon aimed directly at Caitlin Clark. Rewind to April 2023, the national championship game, LSU beating Iowa, and Reese famously turning to Clark on the court and doing the John Cena, "You can't see me," taunt directly in her face, with cameras rolling and millions watching live. That moment made headlines for weeks afterward. It was celebrated by Reese's fans at the time as swagger, as confidence, as a legend being born in real time on the biggest stage in college basketball. Nobody filed a lawsuit then. Nobody even seriously suggested Clark had grounds for legal action because a rival mocked her mid-game on national television. It was sports. It was competition. It was, by every definition, that game of both their young careers did not. Tells you almost everything you need to know about what's really going on underneath the surface here. This was never really about laughing. This is about losing, and about how badly that loss looked while playing out on the biggest stage either of them plays on.
Angel, Angel, Angel. I'm gonna keep this one nice and sweet. Cause I really don't wanna roast you. Especially the way you just got beat. But you gotta start fucking playing like your Angel motherfucking Reese. Game on the line. Had the win in sight. The ball left your hands. And it said, not tonight. You missed the buzzer beater. I am not alright. Alicia got goggles. Angel, get you a pair. Cause missing this many layups got me questioning your stare. You doing all the hard work just to get right there. Then the rim says boo, and the ball disappears. What irritates me the most is cause you do so much good shit, but not being able to put back a layup erases all of it.
Here's the number that makes all of this sting so much more than a single missed layup ever could on its own. Before this game, Angel Reese was already 1-6 against Caitlin Clark in WNBA regular season play. 1 win, 6 losses. This wasn't some rare aberration where Reese ran into bad luck on an otherwise dominant night against her biggest rival. This was the 7th time these two have matched up as professionals, and it was the 6th time Clark walked away with the win in her pocket. The missed layup in overtime didn't create that pattern out of nowhere. It just became the most viral, most widely shared chapter of with millions of people watching every single time, while that rival's assist numbers, scoring totals, and MVP conversation keep climbing higher every single week of the season. Clark is now averaging 22 points and 8.3 assists a game this season, leading the entire league outright in assists and sitting squarely in the middle of the MVP race with real momentum behind her case. Reese, in her first season wearing an Atlanta jersey after the offseason trade, is averaging 15.6 points and 12.1 rebounds. Respectable numbers, real legitimate production on a nightly basis, but nowhere close to the same level of national spotlight or awards conversation.
But it's actually Indiana that has 7 points off of the turnovers that Atlanta has created until we saw Angel Reese, shout out to our teammate, Angel Reese in particular, her energy shifted. I thought when she got some of those easy baskets to go in the paint that quite frankly she had struggled with to open the ball game, that's when you saw this defense begin to pick up its energy, this dream squad to begin to play with a little bit more confidence.
Yeah, athletes know it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that energy is contagious because if you look at Angel Reese, she already has 7 and 9. She's already getting close to a double-double. But then also, if you think about, on the other side here, you're seeing the Indiana Fever, they're just being a little bit methodical as well because I like these good to great plays. You see Caitlin orchestrating. It's like both sides are leaning into their strengths on this one.
Let's go back to Angel really quickly, though, because she was part of the catalyst that you saw to be able to change things around. And she said to Holly, I just feel like I needed to take a deep breath and maybe stop overthinking some of these.
Oh, I've been there.
Before Shanae answered, y'all saw how Shanae was like...
And this is exactly why the timing of this whole situation feels so loaded and so uncomfortable for everyone involved. Because in the weeks leading up to this specific game, there was a real growing chorus of people saying Angel Reese was having one of the best stretches of her entire career. Analysts were pointing to her rebounding numbers, her improved playmaking out of the post, the fact that she was putting up near triple-doubles on a semi-regular basis for the first time as a professional. People were genuinely starting to give her credit for it. Not manufactured hype for the sake of engagement, but actual basketball respect built on real production happening on the floor, night after night. The Atlanta Dream were positioning themselves as a legitimate playoff team heading into the stretch just cost the Dream a single win in the standings. It undercut the entire storyline that had just started building momentum around her. Everyone watching, live and on replay for days afterward, got to see in real time, on the exact stage where it mattered the most, that the doubts about her finishing at the rim in high-pressure moments hadn't actually gone anywhere. That is a much harder thing to sit with quietly than a smile caught from 30 feet away by a broadcast camera.
For 3 hours yesterday, I watched ESPN polish the turd. For 3 hours, I listened to ESPN as they tried to convince me that Angel Reese is an elite basketball player. Now, to her credit, Angel Reese is an elite pretender. On paper, she looks great. But when you actually watch, it is abundantly clear that Angel Reese has no idea what the hell she's doing. This is year 3, and Angel Reese has not developed. And ESPN isn't doing her any favors by casting Angel Reese as a star player. Because
strip away the lawsuit talk entirely, set aside the legal language, and the screenshots nobody can verify. And what you're left with is a much simpler, much more human story underneath it all. Nobody actually believes Angel Reese has hired a legal team over a 2-second smile. What people genuinely believe, and what the tape on the court supports pretty clearly, is that Reese is dealing with the very public, very repeated experience of coming up short against the one player whose success has come to define the entire national conversation around her own career trajectory. Every time this specific matchup happens, it was never really about a facial expression caught on camera for 2 seconds. It was about what that facial expression represented in that exact moment. Clark getting to feel good, getting to laugh, getting another shot at closing out the win herself in overtime, while Reese was left standing under the rim with the one shot she absolutely had to make sitting in her hands and slipping right through her fingers in front of everyone.
Frustrated, she missed that layup, and then Caitlin is in the back looking like an absolute menace. Honestly, I don't even care if you're a Caitlin Clark fan, if you're an Angel Reese fan, you got to admit that this was funny. And I can't even lie, I'm glad that this was all that it was for this matchup, because it feels like every time Caitlin Clark goes up against Angel Reese ever since college, you guys, ever since like their junior year in college. It's always something with these two. It's always something, and then it turns into something greater than that. This is just something fun and light and funny.
And the reaction to the alleged lawsuit talk has made that underlying dynamic even more obvious than it already was. Sports commentators, podcast hosts, and fans across every platform have spent the past several days having a genuine field day with the idea, most of them landing on some version of the exact same joke. If missing a game winner and getting laughed at were legally actionable, half the history of professional sports would be tied up in court proceedings right now. Buzzer beaters get celebrated loudly. Misses get mocked, sometimes cruelly, sometimes affectionately. That has always been the unspoken deal in every sport, at every level of competition, and it's honestly part of what makes competition worth tuning in and watching in the first place. The suggestion that one specific instance of it should suddenly come with a legal consequence hasn't been treated as a serious grievance by almost anyone outside the handful of rumor accounts actively pushing the story for engagement. It's been treated for exactly what it looks like on its face, someone struggling to process a very public loss, and a corner of the internet running wild with a story that gives that struggle a much bigger stage than it probably ever deserved.
Caitlin is doing for the Indiana Fever, especially as of late, really taking charge, really stepping up. She is going into those huddles. She is like talking about plays, getting everyone together. And that is something that she wasn't doing in the beginning of the season as much. I did see Sophie Cunningham doing that a lot, but now I have been seeing her do that. She has stepped up into that leadership role. And I'm not saying that she is MVP or anything just yet, but you cannot discount her from this conversation. She has added so many new tools to her bag this year, like her step back. Also, her step back has gotten the gait of her step back is, and I posted this yesterday on social media, so I apologize if you're hearing me say this again, but her step back has gotten to the size of like an adult human being. Something that she was not able to do with her groin injury. That is like a huge deal for someone like Caitlin Clark, who just needs a little bit of space to get a shot off. And her mid-range game has really gone up. But not only that, her ability to draw contact.
Here's the part that actually matters going forward, far more than anything involving lawyers, screenshots, or unverified legal rumors. Right now, the standings have the Fever sitting 4th at 23-12, and the Dream sitting 5th at 21-13. If the season ends anywhere close to where it stands today, these two teams meet each other in the first round of the playoffs, the first ever postseason matchup between Clark and Reese as professionals, with real elimination stakes attached, real pressure with no next game cushion, and no convenient overtime buzzer left to soften the blow of a single bad possession. That is the actual rematch that should be dominating this conversation. Not a rumored lawsuit that legal analysts have already dismissed publicly as having zero real foundation. Lopsided mismatch that keeps getting more lopsided with every passing meeting. If that playoff game happens the way the standings currently suggest it will, the noise around one smile caught on a broadcast camera in the middle of August is going to look microscopic compared to what's coming down the road. Because in the playoffs, there's no laughing quietly and simply walking it off before the next regular season game arrives on the schedule. There's only winning or watching someone else get the very last laugh on the single biggest stage either of them has ever played on in their careers.